masters of horror.
Welcome to the Scariest Things Podcast, your gateway to the trends and tropes of the horror genre. And this is Spooky Time, episode 21. Buy us a beer. And,
that's right. Let's get drunk.
Let's get drunk. Okay. I am Liz Williams from New Orleans, and I am joined by from DC.
Eric. Going to DC. Not me.
Robert Zillbauer.
And then back over to Portland.
Eric Lee.
And Mike Campbell.
Welcome. Welcome. All right. 21 Spooky Time.
Do you have to be 21 to have a beer? No, I don't think you do.
No.
It used to be 18 when I was growing up here in New Orleans. And
you don't need to drink it legally. You can be 6.
I'm just having a sip of my dad's beer. God, I probably drank a million beers doing that. Okay. Even though it's only August, the next holiday to come around is Halloween. So I have got some news. If the Home Depot 13-foot skeleton is not good enough for you, there is a wonderful company called HalloweenCostumes.com that are selling pre-orders right now a 25-foot inflatable Michael Myers. You can't even see him behind me.
The knife is bigger than you are.
His smaller little cohort. He also has a 15-foot buddy and an 8-foot buddy for your house. So please head on over to HalloweenCostumes.com.
25 feet.
For a mere
Eric,
$500
not fit in your front yard.
500 this $500 for the 25-foot
would not fit in your front yard.
No,
our house,
my backyard.
Like it would be the size of our house. I mean, we have 10-foot ceilings, 2 floors, so we're going around 25 feet.
You could put it on like the side yard.
I think
I could put it. I could park on the side of the street.
Liz
we could put it on the side yard, but it would be stolen. Like after I went inside to look at it, it would be taken away. So thanks to Bloody Disgusting for bringing this gem to my attention. Now, if you're like, but I don't have $500 and I don't have that kind of yard space. Well, I've got something else.
Oh.
Full Moon's Tiny Terrors.
Oh,
this is
nice.
also coming soon from Full Moon Features.
Ooh, what are those?
They are
Puppet Master guys.
They're called their blind box figures, and it says prepare to embark on a spine-chilling journey into the world of horror with these terrifying yet adorable figures. They're each inside a collectible blind box. You can have fan favorite collectible characters like the Ginger Dead Man, Blade, Baby Oopsie, Six Shooter, Killjoy, Radu, Evil Bong, Torch, Tuttler, Phoebe, the Evil Bong, and Jack Attack. They're little minis. And
is Evil Bong functional?
That would be hilarious. Someone will make
functional.
that Evil Bong functional. Challenge to the stoners out there. And they're only going to be $15. So
is there a chase figure? Is one of them designated?
I don't know if they're going to have more coming out, or if you get to pick. So it's called a blind box. I don't know if you just kind of
you just
get a mystery one. Yes, they do have a mystery chase figure and another. It looks like a mystery bong figure because he's in kind of the shape of a bong. So you can check these out on fullmoonuniverse.com, and they will also be on Amazon and at retailers, and they are going to be coming out soon. So
let's see if we can make them an affiliate.
I have.
We say that a lot.
I have my own tiny terror. This is my tiny terror.
This is
just fit me.
Can you smoke it? For those of you who are listening and not watching, that was Mike's cat.
That was Mike's cat.
Not his child.
Not his child, and not his dog.
And he just bit me.
Hank.
He's like a medium-sized terror now.
Right.
All right. So from the big to the tiny, expensive to the less expensive, that's it. Merch, Halloween stuff. It's starting. This is also the year I'm going to Spirit Halloween, and I want that Sam little door greeter. He's like 3 feet tall, and every year I say, I don't need it. No, he's only 50.
For the animatronic one.
Oh no, I just want the little guy that you put candy in the bowl.
The animatronic one that runs up and stabs you in the ankle.
For people listening. Yeah.
I just want the $50 Sam guy who has the candy bowl, and he'll just stay in the house year round.
Yeah.
Serving out different things in the bowl. All right, who's going next? How about Robert?
I will.
Oh, all right. How about Mike?
This is very, very topical because this week was the $1.58 billion MegaMillions drawing. For those of you that can't see, I'm holding up a MegaMillions ticket. It is not the winning ticket because I don't live in Florida.
I know.
But if I was to win $1.58 billion cash prize, these are the things that I would do. One, I would remake Wicker Man and get that Nicolas Cage stink off the film. Two, I would buy the rights to Creature from the Black Lagoon to ensure that it could never be remade. Three.
So you're going to buy Universal Studios.
Well, no, I'm just going to buy the rights to Creature from the Black Lagoon. Three, I would finance Rob Zombie to remake Race with the Devil, the Warren Oates film from the 70s.
Rob Zombie?
Or
all right.
Or I would buy, distribute, and release Death Rider in the House of Vampires by Glenn Danzig.
Finally.
Five, I would hire an investigative team to go and find and buy the last 10 minutes, the lost 10 minutes of The Shining. And lastly, I would turn the horror movie Greenlight Pitch into a video game, a board game, and a movie. There you go.
That's right. Home edition.
$1.5 billion. That's what
it's a mere like 790 million after if you take the lump sum.
Right. And I probably just in all that I probably just spent $10 million. So I'd have
you gotta go through the rest of the money.
I have plenty left over.
Lavish it on the cat.
I like that.
Yeah. All right, moving over to Robert from Robert.
Okay. Well, this one comes from sticker aficionado and Scariest Things fan Chase Edwards.
What up, Chase?
Yes.
Hey, Chase.
Thanks, Chase. I had not actually heard of this. I don't know exactly how I missed it, but when he mentioned it the first time, I had to go look it up and see what it was all about. So there's 2 seasons out. You can see it on MGM Plus because everyone has a Plus now.
Yeah.
MGM Plus and Paramount Plus. And
are both seasons available on that? Because I think it started on one network and then went to another network.
I think so. Or you can watch them both on Amazon Prime, the video.
Yeah.
And it's, if you like mind-bendy, weird shows like Lost, for example, from which like I think 3 or 4 of the main producers are from Lost.
And it's got the lead actor is from Lost.
And the lead actor is from Lost. So
is he?
There's a lot of Lost
Paraneo, I believe.
vibes.
I know him from Oz, not Lost.
Which lead actor would you say? Lead actor? There was like 10 lead actors.
True. Sheriff Boyd.
Okay. Oh, okay.
The sheriff.
Gotcha.
Harold Perrineau. Yeah. So I binged through the whole thing. It's a really easy binge. There's only like 10 episodes a season.
Nice.
Okay.
And there is a season 3 planned. Maybe summer 2024, but with everything going on right now, that's up in the air. Who knows?
2026.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And season 1 was the strongest one so far. Season 2 was pretty good though, still. And it's just a lot of weirdness. I mean, it's like
it's following the pattern of Lost.
It's very much
great first season,
following.
Pretty good second season, and then your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in season 3. So I watched the first season, and there's quite a time gap in between season 1 and season 2. I'm gonna say over a year.
Okay.
Because it
when
did
they came
switch
out?
networks. Yes.
Oh.
Because I think it was on like Epic's channel.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
And then they went to Tubi
I have
Plus.
to catch up with season 2. Oh, Tubi had a plus.
Tubi Plus.
I mean, like, it's still free. It's just better. Yeah.
Tubi gets 2 pluses.
We pay you to watch. Yeah.
So what is the fundamental premise with From?
It's the first season starts you to start out blind. You follow a family that's going on a road trip essentially, and so they stumble into this small town where you get trapped. So they're driving down a road and they're like, oh, here's this funny town, I guess we missed our turn somewhere, and they get back on the road and drive down the road, keeping going straight, and they find the same town. And they're like, wait a minute, what? So they come to the realization that they're trapped in this town. Everybody that's in this town went through the same thing. They all got trapped in this town. There's weird critters that live outside, and you can't go out in the nighttime. And they're all just trying to, it's kind of like we need to get home, but we don't know how. So it's this big puzzle box kind of thing. It's Lost again, but it's enjoyable.
So it's bloodier.
It is, yes.
Are they in purgatory? Likely.
I was thinking
Possibly.
that because Lost, no one's going to watch that anyway. But I was pleased that they brought it up pretty early on in season 1. Someone was like, because they, just like Lost, they get into this town after a crash. So they're like, one of the main questions one of the characters asks is, did we survive that crash? So then they come up with
pinch you.
Yeah.
It also has it sounds a little bit like Identity, which has trapped at a gas station, motel kind of a thing, and you travel too far and we're back where we started. Or Southbound had a like there was a monster hunting the starting and closing loop of Southbound had a trapped in again one of my favorite tropes, trapped in a gas station.
I thought at least season 1 of From, the things that are outside at night, they're pretty creepy, and if they get you, it is pretty graphic and gory. So they don't really hold back on the scares.
Some of it it's definitely mature rating.
All I know is Eric and I saw the cast of Lost speak at Comic-Con at the apex of Lost fandom, and people lost their goddamn minds,
including Mike. Mike was riding high on the Lost bandwagon.
There was crying and fainting and screaming. I've never seen anything like
big Hall H. 15,000 people in Hall H.
Lost. Crap. People loved that show.
San Diego Comic-Con, man, that felt like a lifetime ago, Mike. That was pre-Scariest Things by a long yard. So I have got a couple of things. The first one is I went and saw a screener for a movie that a number of us were really anticipating.
Very jealous, yes.
Yeah, and so this is, if you can see behind me, it's not arms sticking out of my ears. This is the Last Voyage of the Demeter, Andre Overdal's latest outing, and I'm happy to say I really enjoyed this.
Now, it's good.
I feel like I'm swimming against the tides of some of the other critics, but let me tell you what this is like.
That did not agree.
With
Eric.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, and this is the benefit of actually seeing it before. I think I was the third English speaking post on the on IMDb for this. Like, really, they should have gotten the Universal did not back this movie very, very well. But it feels like, and Andre Ovredal, if you listen to some of his outtakes, took a lot of cues from Ridley Scott's Alien. It really feels like Dracula is kind of like the xenomorph. He starts out weak, picks off crew, starts growing and changing in some fairly disturbing ways. And it's, playing a lot in the shadows, right?
Does he have a Romanian accent like Bela Lugosi?
He doesn't really, I mean, at a certain point, he speaks some English.
Okay.
But it's like, with the amount of, it's like he barely gets any words out. He's got so many, his teeth are all raggedy. But there's nothing, he's a Nosferatu looking beast. I mean, it's like, it looks anything but human.
He does not look like Edward from Twilight.
There's no sparkles to him. Maybe a little bit of slime on him. But the great cast.
At least he's got fangs. Come on.
Yes. They're fanged vampires. Actually, do they actually bare their teeth in Twilight?
No,
Mike is having to do the Twilight.
They don't have fangs.
Yeah,
they don't even have fangs.
Mike has
Come
been
on.
really permanently
Zero
changed by
fangs.
this Wheel of Misfortune.
Sorry, we're not talking
Everybody
about
else
Twilight.
is
We're talking about Last
making
Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah. So this is Corey Hawkins, who was in Straight Outta Compton, is Dr. Clemens, who is a doctor who was hired sight unseen because he had a Cambridge medical license or a degree, and so like a count in Bulgaria thought, I'm going to hire this guy, but it's like, he's a black man. No, go away. That's not what I hired. It's like, so now he's looking for a place to go, and so he gets brought on to the Demeter, which is taking on some cargo. Including some kind of oblong shaped boxes that are kind of heavy, and they're destined for England with a recipient to pick them up when they get there. Now, here's the one of the, probably if there's a weak spot within this for a general audience, it's that if you're not familiar with the story of Dracula, you're entering in the middle of a story.
Right.
This is chapter 7 of the Bram Stoker novel. And it's called The Captain's Log is the name of the chapter. And that story ends with a ship wrecked on the British coast, no survivors. What's going on?
Right.
That's the premise that this opens up with, is they show you the wreck of the Demeter, and it's like, what happened here? And and we find out, Dracula happened.
So advertising wise, is this going the same way as Renfield?
I have some concerns that this could. I don't think it costs as much as Renfield. I don't think, because you're not paying. There's nobody with Nicolas Cage's salary requirements. Right.
Sure.
But you mean from a marketing, right? Like Renfield should have been called Dracula's assistant, and this should have been called Dracula's voyage.
Dracula's ship.
Yeah, exactly.
I think The Last Voyage of the Demeter is a great title. I think
it is, but unless you're familiar with
what the Demeter is,
but they come straight out of the gates. And honestly, I don't know if plastering Dracula is going to make this thing succeed or not. But as a Dracula movie, it's scary. It's the woman I was sitting next to just jumped out. Woman I didn't know almost landed in my lap. So that was like, oh, and we almost like knocked heads because I jumped too. Our friend David Dasmalchian is in it. He plays First Officer Wojcik.
He's in everything.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Really is.
It's a sizable role. He gets a lot of.
That's great.
It's a very interesting character. Liam Cunningham, Sir Davos Seaworthy from Game of Thrones is your captain. A salty dog character in Game of Thrones, salty dog character here. He's really solid. And then you have a bunch of, drunken sailors and a little kid and a ship that is doomed. It just feels like I would say that this movie is dreadful, as in full of dread. It is that Dracula's on the ship. It goes out there and it tells you Dracula's on the ship,
and you know everybody dies.
And it's like you kind of think it's like, did any of them get onto a lifeboat? Did any of them make a swim, go for a swim and try and make it? Mm-hmm. Those are some of the questions that this movie will answer. If you don't like the story, you can blame Bram Stoker, right? I thought it was Andre Ovredal. For those of you who don't remember, is one of Robert's favorite directors. Yes. Mm-hmm. He directed Troll Hunter, and he directed Autopsy of Jane Doe. And Scary Things or Scary
Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah. Right. So he is building up quite a resume. I'm a fan of this. Yeah. Whether or not Variety and Empire like it or not, fooey to them. I liked it. So all right. Is there going to be
a Last Voyage of the Demeter 2?
Would be because here's the thing,
really
it's universal.
Last Voyage.
It would be.
No, seriously, this is the last one, guys.
It's like we'll put a
like
patch
floating
on
a piece of the boat.
No, do they leave it open so that there's a possibility of a second?
Well, of course, because Dracula's in England now. I mean, that's the story.
I know, but do they purposefully leave?
Yes.
This okay, they do. Okay,
they do. It's like.
They don't screw too much with the original story.
No, I think there's a lot of fealty to it, and I like that. I think that, that a lot of the Dracula lore carries through. Cool. So for those, again, if you're not down with Dracula lore, this may not be for you. I loved it.
Going next week.
The other, and that, by the way, for those of you who are listening, it's probably going to be out in theaters when this gets posted, but it's tomorrow, the 11th is when the actual opening is. And also Popcorn Frights is starting up, and by the time you hear this, they will lift the what do you call it? The embargo, the film embargo, the review embargo for Sorry, Charlie. Which is, I didn't know what to think of this thing. I signed up for screeners, and this was one of the screeners I got. And it is it's really cool. It's a one-woman show essentially, but it's a rape revenge movie without all the ugly parts of a rape revenge movie. In other words, they don't do the rape. The rape is sort of alluded to, and it includes the best parts, which is a really good revenge movie. And the woman is the killer is called the gentleman stalker, I think, or gentleman killer, because he wears a top hat and he's been going through Southern California. He's the one that's
doing the revenge, or he's
the rapist. He's a rapist. He's a serial rapist.
The rapist. Okay, gotcha.
And he is and they believe they've caught him, but our heroine here, Charlie, believes he's still out there, and she's taken to one, going through therapy, and two, actually becoming a helpline volunteer. And so there's a lot of this discussion about her mental state and how her recovery process, and also if she ever gets a chance to get at this guy, that this isn't the guy, and and she thinks he's still out there. And it's great cat and mouse. This reminds me of High Tension level cat and mouse, where both the heroine the serial killer, he kills and or rapes, it sort of depends on how the attack goes, that there's a lot of smart moves. They both play smart moves, and you love watching. It's like, what's the next, what would you do next, it pulls out a doozy of a finish. The finish is awesome, and this is like nobody I've ever heard of.
What do you give Last Voyage of the Demeter? What do you give Sorry, Charlie?
I'm giving them both 4 stars.
4 stars. All right.
And I
Nice.
would
Good start. Good start to the Popcorn Frights Film Festival.
Yeah,
Keep it going.
That's right, because we've got a bunch of movies to watch. So the actress's name, by the way, is Kathleen Kelly.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny. Maybe part of this is also I dated a woman named Jenny who reminded me a lot of this Charlie character. Looks like her, and she was also a helpline person. It was like, this is kind of odd. Something that I could but you get into the notion of what it means to be a helpline support person, and she went into it because she needed help herself. And I thought it was like some compelling story for just one woman. It's quick too. You guys, Liz, you and Mike would love it. It's about 70 minutes.
Good.
It's a short film.
Oh, you don't see that much anymore.
No, you don't. So it's a quick one. And it was just the right speed. So anyways, that should be coming out, well, after Popcorn Frights. We'll see how long it stays in, how long it takes before it gets to streaming, but it's one of those little movies that could. So
cool.
For the record, I'm okay with long movies as long as there's an intermission. Bring the intermission back.
I like that idea.
I'm not sitting down for 3.5 hours without going to the bathroom. Not possible. Bring the intermission back.
I think Mike is suggesting that bladders get smaller as we get older.
Or something happens to them. Something. I don't know what. All right. Anyone have a tagline to take us out of here? No. I have the tagline. It's sort of a tagline from the Last Voyage of the Demeter. The legend of Dracula is born.
Ooh.
I guess it's kind of true-ish.
On the water.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of.
Well, in this movie, yeah. I mean, it's
born in chapter 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, y'all, go see it.
The Masters of Horror.